What if I told you that the greatest force shaping your life isn't what you see in the light, but what lurks in the unseen corners of your soul? Not your fears, not your doubts, but a mysterious, potent energy known only to those brave enough to face it, your shadow. This is no ordinary darkness. It's a hidden realm within you, a secret reservoir of raw power, untapped creativity, and profound wisdom. Yet, it's a place most flee from, fearing what might be revealed. But to ignore your shadow is to remain forever half alive, forever incomplete. To embrace it, truly embrace it, is to unlock a hidden door into your deepest self, where transformation begins. Today, we journey beyond the surface, into this sacred darkness, to uncover its hidden power and practical keys that anyone can use. If you're ready to meet your whole self and wield a force that has been whispered about by sages, mystics, and visionaries through the ages, then this video is your gateway. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this path is one you'll want to walk with me step by step. For millennia, the concept of the shadow has whispered through the corridors of spiritual tradition and ancient wisdom, hidden in plain sight. From the mystics of the East to the philosophers of the West, this dark companion has been both feared and revered, not as a malevolent force, but as an essential part of the human experience. In ancient Taoism, the interplay of yin and yang revealed a profound truth: light cannot exist without shadow. The dark is not absence but balance, an indispensable half of the cosmic dance. The shadow represents the unseen energies that sustain and define existence itself. Carl Gustav Jung, the 20th century Swiss psychiatrist, brought the shadow into modern consciousness. He described it as the hidden, repressed parts of the self, those aspects we deny, hide, or are unaware of. Jung saw the shadow not as something to destroy but to integrate, for within it lies not just darkness, but vitality and creative power. Before Jung, however, esoteric traditions already mapped this territory. The Hermetic teachings spoke of the hidden light, an internal fire that burns brightest in the depths of darkness. Kabbalah describes the Sitra Achra, the other side, which is not evil, but the untamed aspects of creation, waiting to be understood and mastered. In the indigenous traditions of many cultures, the shadow is honored as a guardian of mystery and transformation. The journey into the shadow is often a rite of passage, a sacred descent into the underworld of the self, where death and rebirth unfold. Understanding this historical lineage reminds us that the shadow is not a foreign enemy but an ancient teacher, a threshold to hidden wisdom. It challenges us to confront what society, culture, and even our own minds have forced into silence. Today, as seekers of truth and growth, we stand on the shoulders of these traditions. To walk the path of the shadow is to engage in an alchemy of the soul, transforming hidden pain and denial into radiant wholeness. To begin unveiling the hidden power of your shadow, we must first grasp what it truly is, and what it is not. The shadow is not simply your dark side or a vault of negativity. It is far more nuanced, far more vital. Imagine your psyche as a vast, ancient cathedral, filled with grand light streaming through stained glass windows. This light represents your conscious self, the thoughts, beliefs, and identities you present to the world. Yet, behind those walls lies a labyrinth of hidden chambers, corridors untouched by the sunlight. This is the shadow, the unseen parts of you, where raw, unfiltered energies dwell. Within this labyrinth, reside traits and emotions society taught you to reject: anger, jealousy, selfishness, fear, but also forgotten talents, secret desires, and unacknowledged wisdom. These are not bad or evil, but simply parts of your whole being that you have pushed away to survive or to fit in. The shadow's power lies in its ability to influence your life beneath the surface, often silently steering your choices, reactions, and relationships. It is like a river flowing underground, out of sight but shaping the landscape above in profound ways. Why do we fear this hidden force? Because it holds the mirror to our most vulnerable selves, the parts we refuse to see or admit. Yet, when faced with courage, this mirror becomes a doorway. Consider the metaphor of the alchemist. The base metal of our unconscious, weighed down by repression and denial, can be transmuted into gold, integrated wisdom and creative force. This process, Jung called shadow work, is the courageous act of diving into those dark chambers and reclaiming lost parts of the self. To further understand, envision your shadow as a wild horse trapped behind a gate. When locked away, it thrashes in frustration, causing chaos and fear. But if approached gently and trained with respect, this horse becomes a magnificent steed, strong, loyal, and vital to your journey. This explains why people often experience sudden emotional outbursts, recurring patterns, or inexplicable fears. They are symptoms of the shadow demanding attention, crying out to be acknowledged and embraced. The path to mastery is not to banish or ignore the shadow but to listen, understand, and integrate it. Only then does its power transform from hidden sabotage to hidden strength. As we venture deeper into the nature of the shadow, it becomes clear that this is not a simple dark void but a dynamic, paradoxical presence within us, simultaneously threatening and transformative, chaotic and creative. One of the lesser-known aspects of the shadow is its dual nature. It is both the source of our greatest wounds and our most profound gifts. In ancient occult philosophy, this was understood as the shadow flame. A fierce inner fire that burns away illusions, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths but also illuminating the hidden gold beneath. This paradox can create internal conflict. The shadow may manifest as self-sabotage, compulsive behavior, or toxic traits we hate in others yet secretly harbor ourselves. At the same time, it contains seeds of creativity, intuition, and authentic power that the conscious mind often represses. Think of the shadow as a dark forest at night. To the unprepared traveler, it is a place of danger and fear. But for the wise, it is also a place of sacred medicine plants and rare treasures, accessible only through careful, reverent exploration. This explains why many spiritual traditions teach the necessity of shadow integration, the art of befriending your shadow rather than battling it. The integration process requires honesty, patience, and a willingness to face uncomfortable realities without judgment. One practical nuance is that the shadow often projects itself outward. When we harshly judge others, criticize, or feel inexplicable dislike, it can be a reflection of disowned parts of ourselves mirrored back through the lens of projection. Recognizing these moments is a powerful tool for self-awareness and healing. Another subtlety is that the shadow is not static. It evolves with us, adapting as we grow. New layers emerge as old wounds heal, revealing fresh corners of the unconscious to explore. This is why shadow work is lifelong, a continuous dance rather than a destination. The integration of the shadow also reshapes our relationship with power. Rather than fearing or abusing power, we learn to wield it responsibly, rooted in self-knowledge and authenticity. This reclaimed power manifests as confidence, emotional resilience, and magnetic presence. Finally, the shadow connects us to a deeper cosmic rhythm. In esoteric terms, it is the portal through which we encounter the sacred mysteries of death and rebirth, not only physically but psychologically and spiritually. It invites us to die to old selves and rise renewed. Now that we've uncovered the hidden nature of the shadow, it's time to step beyond theory into practice. Shadow work is not a distant concept but a lived experience, a daily invitation to meet your whole self with courage and compassion. Step 1. Cultivate awareness. Begin by simply observing your reactions, especially those that surprise or disturb you. When anger, jealousy, or judgment flare, pause. Ask yourself, what part of me is this revealing? Journaling these moments can illuminate hidden patterns and unconscious triggers. Awareness is the first key that unlocks the door to your shadow's power. Step 2. Embrace self-compassion. Facing your shadow can stir deep discomfort or shame. Remember, the shadow is not your enemy but your unrecognized self. Approach these discoveries with gentleness. Speak to yourself as you would a frightened child or a trusted friend. This compassion softens resistance and opens space for healing. Step 3. Dialogue with your shadow. Try a simple meditation or inner dialogue technique. Visualize your shadow as a figure or presence within you. Invite it to speak, to express what it wants you to know. Listen without judgment. This sacred conversation builds trust and integration, transforming fear into understanding. Step 4. Integrate through creative expression. The shadow often communicates through symbolism and metaphor. Engage in creative acts, painting, writing, dancing, or music, that allow these hidden energies to flow. This process bypasses the logical mind and taps into deeper layers, releasing stuck energy and revealing new insights. Step 5. Practice projection awareness. Notice moments when you react strongly to others, dislike, envy, or irritation. Reflect inwardly to find if these reactions mirror something unacknowledged within yourself. This awareness reduces judgment and fosters wholeness. Step 6. Set intentions for growth. Shadow work is an ongoing journey, not a quick fix. Set clear intentions to revisit these practices regularly, gently peeling back layers over time. Celebrate small breakthroughs, knowing each step deepens your power and authenticity. Overcoming challenges. Shadow work can stir intense emotions. When overwhelmed, ground yourself with breath work, nature, or trusted support. Remember that discomfort is part of transformation, not a sign to retreat. Seek guidance if needed, for true mastery lies in balancing bravery with self-care. By embracing these practical steps, you transform the shadow from hidden chaos into a wellspring of strength. You awaken a magnetic presence rooted in self-knowledge, resilience, and soulful power. The shadow is no longer a shadow when seen through the eyes of truth, it is the hidden pulse of your soul's power. Embracing this unseen realm is not an act of fear but one of immense bravery and grace. Today, we peeled back layers of ancient wisdom, unveiling the shadow's role as both guardian and guide. We saw how its darkness conceals the very light we seek: creativity, authenticity, and deep transformation. Remember, the journey into your shadow is the journey into wholeness. It invites you to reclaim every lost fragment of yourself and awaken a magnetic presence that cannot be ignored. Take these insights and practices with you. Meet your shadow not as an adversary but as an ally, and watch as your life unfolds in ways you never imagined. If this resonated with you, subscribe and join our community, where ancient mysteries meet modern awakening. Your path to deeper power has only just begun.